Alright, let's go, Zed. You... okay, missed. Ow! Fuck, oh, he can spin his thing and... grappling, come on. Come on. Oh, you cheap fuck. Let's get... Oh, yeah, I'm not letting you... Ow! Fucking hell. With the lightning? The lightning? Seriously, the lightning? What are you... and you can teleport. Oh, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Come on. Fuck you and your well, fuck. This is the Super Tired Gamer Show. I love the Power Rangers. The characters, the powers, the suits, the Zords, the villains, the music, everything. I mean, we all know them. Many of us love them either as part of our own nostalgia or as a legitimate fandom. And even if you don't like them, you at least know them. Anyone who had a proper childhood knows the mighty Technicolor heroes well. I'd say that only us late 80s to 90s kids would be familiar with them, but the show is actually still running to this day. Sure, they've changed over the years, but it's still the same dynamic of 20-somethings playing teens with attitude, saving the world in brightly colored spandex.
Power Rangers, fighting the scourge of colorblindness daily.
Super Tired Gamer does not actually discriminate against the colorblind. This is a joke. Please do not take it seriously. Power Rangers, as many people don't realize, is actually the Western localization of a Japanese superhero team show known as Super Sentai, or Super Task Force for us English speakers. I've seen quite a bit of the Japanese show, and unlike many who witness it, I still find Power Rangers holds up when compared to its counterpart. Well, more or less. I'm looking at you, almost every season done by Disney. So, despite it not entirely being an original product, the show did amazingly well here in the States. In fact, it was heralded as the most watched kids show on television for a time. And obviously the next logical step for making money off the show beyond the toys, which I of course obsessed over as a kid, was a video game. And the result was an ocean of clunky beat-em-ups, a bland fighting game on the Genesis, and an incredibly shitty full-motion video QTE game on the Sega CD. But I'm not talking about any of those. What I am talking about is the fighting game for the SNES. That's right, it's Power Rangers meets Street Fighter, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the Fighting Edition. Not the most original name, but anyway.
It's Morphin time! Tigerzord!
Mastodon! Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
I now present to you the best title screen ever. I mean, seriously, you can't debate me on this. You just can't. The crazy mashup of 90s colors here is awesome. Pink and green, man. Remember when those colors were used at the same time? I do. Also, I've always adored the lightning motif they had going for the show. It just exuded power. Now, in this game you only have 3 modes. Story, which is more of an arcade mode, really. Fighting, also known in every other fighting game as Versus, and Trial, sort of a win streak mode against the CPU. So let's look at Story. In this mode, you can only choose from 2 characters, the Thunder Megazord, one of my favorite Megazords of all time, and the Mega Tigerzord, which isn't as cool, but still pretty neat. I like how the blue, black, yellow, and pink Rangers move between the red and the white Rangers in the screen like they're picking kickball teams or something. Even though they wear helmets, the one left out just looks a tad lonely, doesn't he?
Sit-ya.
After you pick a Megazord, you're treated to this awesome cutscene of the Rangers putting the Zords together.
Epilepsy!
I have to say, the sprite work is amazing in this game. The pixelated images of the Megazords at the character select really leave a lot to be desired, but the actual sprites that were made for the game are beautiful. I really have to admit that I'm fighting the Mega Tigerzord? Isn't that impossible? I mean, the legs and shoulders on both Megazords are formed from the same 3 Zords after all. Well, I guess given the backdrop for the fight, this is some sort of holodeck deal. Man, Mega Tigerzord is a real pushover. He was usually stronger than the Thunder Megazord in the show. Next up is Lip Syncer. Oh, I remember her! Yeah, kind of a silly monster. When I was a kid, I thought she had horns on her shoulders and a funny hat. A friend had to tell me she was a giant lipstick monster. Another easy fight, moving on. Or not. Okay, that was pretty awesome. And now we have, what? The Ninja Megazord. Didn't the Rangers get that after the Thunder Megazord, you know, the one I'm playing as, was destroyed? Whoa, this guy can move. It's always odd for me to see the Megazords in this game move like that. Mainly because in the show, the bulky costumes the actors wore made it difficult for them to even swing their sword. Anyway, kicked its ninja ass. Next. And next up we have the Shogun Megazord. Great! Guess it was getting lonely with the Ninja Megazord catching a ride in the TARDIS and all. I kid, of course, but it's odd to have these Season 3 Megazords in a game where you play as Season 2 Megazords. Though, one thing that isn't odd is that you literally cannot throw the Shogun Megazord. I'm serious, I tried, many times. The damn thing is literally too big to throw. And it can take a hell of a beating, too. Not to mention its throw does like a third of my health. Alright, time to just hit and run. Hit and run! Come on! Yeah! A bit cheap to win in a time over. But I was never really good at fighting games anyway. And now we have Silver Horn. Remember that guy? Nope, neither do I. Total pushover. Next. Ah, the obligatory fight yourself round. I always hated these because the CPU was always better at the character than me. See? First loss is against myself. Nice. Hold up! The fuck was that? And that! Was that a Shoryuken? How the hell? You can do that? Okay, let's see if there's a move list. Nope. No move list. Well, that's just dandy. I mean, sure, the whole check your button combos deal wasn't really a thing back then, but it would be nice to find out how to do that. Whatever, finally won. Moving on. Oh yeah! Now this will be a good one. Come on, Goldar, I'ma tear your gold wings off. I'll knock you so hard, you'll lose your memory and wind up as Balkan Skull's slave again. The game is so much better at this game than me. Well, at least now we get to see the game over screen. More awesome sprite work, of course. I especially like the work done on Lord Zed's brain there. Okay, now let's try it with a different character. How about the only other one you can choose? Well, that was a bit easier. The monster kill scene is kind of lacking something without the Thunder Megazord, though. What? A fist pump? Fist pump! Just isn't as cool as sheathing a sword. I mean, it's like he just sank a golf putt. Oh, I know. They should start calling it the Mega Tiger Woods Zord. That wasn't funny. The final battle of the story mode is Lord Zed, and as you've seen from the video intro, he's quite difficult. Since you've already seen some of the fight, and I don't want to spoil the end of the game for you, we're just going to move on to the next modes. The next mode after story is fighting, as I said before. This is just your basic versus mode, nothing special to see here, really. Of course, if you want to play this mode, you gotta have a friend to play with. Or just pull some random guy off the street, that's what I usually do. One moment.
Shut up and pick your character! Do it! Do it! Do it! You want to be Lord Zed? Lord Zed is pretty cool! Well, too fucking bad! I'm Lord Zed!
Sorry about that, he gets a little vocal when he hasn't eaten for a few days. Finally, we have Trial Mode. This is essentially an arcade mode where you can pick any character in the game and go for the highest win streak with the opponents randomly selected for you. I love getting Goldar while I'm playing Lord Zed and vice versa. I don't really think they'd have a reason to be fighting each other, but it's fun to make one up.
You have left dirty dishes in the sink overnight for the last time, Goldar!
Well, I only do it because you never flush the toilet. If I see one more red, tube-covered log, I'm going to hang myself!
However, there is one character not selectable at first. Yes, this game does have one, and I repeat, one unlockable character. This would be none other than the delightfully evil Ivan Ooze. I'd show you him, but you can only unlock him by beating story mode on hard difficulty. And I ain't doing that shit. No way, no how. You can't make me. You want to see him, then do it yourself. Or just watch the movie. It's easier. So, despite the odd time-altering implications of the game, it's definitely a fun time. The fighting mechanics are surprisingly well done, and the controls are both tight and responsive. In fact, when compared to the reigning fighting king of the time, Street Fighter II, I'd say that I actually like this game's controls better. I know. Just hear me out. It's similar to Street Fighter in the button allocations for attacks, with kicks instead being replaced by weapon swings or special kinds of punches, but the movement feels much more engaging and fast-paced. For instance, by double-tapping left or right, your character will either dash forward or jump back. It's a common mechanic in fighting games now, but I don't think it was very prominent back in 1995 when this game was released. The graphics are amazingly crisp with high-quality sprites, not to mention the attention to detail. For example, if you're as big of a Power Rangers or Super Sentai fan as I am, then I'm sure you've noticed by now that sparks fly from a character every time they're hit, just like in the show. Though the animation isn't always as fluid as I'd like it, this is a game from 1995 we're talking about. Sprite animation is arduous, this coming from someone who has personal experience with it. The sound design is nicely done. The hits feel like they have good impact, and the different special moves, like Lord Zed's Lightning and that, sound like how you'd hope them to. But it's kind of obvious seeing how this is an SNES game, and they tend to be the best of the 16-bit era in terms of sound. The soundtrack is great and does an awesome job of recreating the show's iconic music by Ron Wasserman. As for a story, well, it's a fighting game based on Power Rangers. If you expected The Witcher 2, then you set your expectations far too high. All in all, if you're a Power Rangers fan and you enjoy 2D fighting games, definitely give this a look. If anything, it's easily the best Power Rangers game from the 90s. I'm the SuperTiredGamer, and I have a captive to discipline.
Drink your fucking water! Drink it! Drink it!
And you for me, so happy together.